it's Hunter Rush, Miss Heritage, and today I'll be reading to you Gelbo's World, Remembering Colors by Susan Oliver. Gelbo lived in a black and white world. Every day he woke up in his black and white bed, put on his black and white clothes, and walked the black and white path to his black and white school. There must be more to the world than just black and white, Gelbo would say to himself, but he wasn't sure because when he looked around, he just saw more black and white. One day, as he was walking home from school, Gelbo wished for something more. Deciding to take a different path, he walked and walked and walked. Suddenly, he realized he was lost. Frightened, Gelbo looked around the woods and saw an old man sitting on a bench. He looked different to Gelbo, not like the other people he knew. The old man sparkled, Gelbo thought. Still frightened, Gelbo approached slowly. "Hello," he said shyly. "My name is Gelbo." "Hello, Gelbo, my son," responded the old man. "You can call me Samuel." He was silent for a moment, and then he said, "You are lost. I am blind, but there are some things I can see clearly." Gelbo became sad, thinking that the old man's world must be worse than his. Nothing at all to look at, nothing exciting, just black and nothing more. "I'm sorry you are blind," said Gelbo sadly, "but there really isn't much to see. Everything is black and white." "Oh no, my son," said Samuel. "My world isn't black and white at all. It's filled with rich reds, brilliant blues, and sunny yellows. There are so many colors that light up my life." Gelbo was confused. He didn't know what the old man was talking about. "What are colors?" he asked. "Colors are what you see with your heart," answered Samuel. "You can see them even with your eyes closed. They paint life into the world and make everything beautiful." "But you're blind," said Gelbo. "How can you see colors?" "Seeing isn't always done with the eye," said Samuel. "It's the way we feel about the world that brings color to our lives. Colors have always been there. You must only learn to discover them with your heart." More confused than ever, Gelbo wanted to stay and hear about colors, but he knew he needed to go home. "How do I find my way back?" Gelbo asked Samuel. "It isn't as hard as you think," the old man said. "Just walk in that direction." And he pointed ahead. Gelbo wasn't sure. "What if I become lost again?" he asked. "You cannot become lost if you remember where you are going," said Samuel. "I am going home," replied Gelbo. "Yes," sighed the old man, and he pointed him in the direction. And as Gelbo started down the path, he wondered how a blind man knew which way was home. Later that night, after Gelbo found his way back, he dreamt of the old man in the forest. The next day after school, hoping to find Samuel, Gelbo took the same path in the woods. And just as the day before, there sat the old man. "I knew you would come again," said Samuel. "How did you know?" asked Gelbo, surprised. "Because your heart is filled with many colors," answered the old man. "Tell me about colors, Samuel," said Gelbo. And so the old man began to tell Gelbo stories of the colors of his life. He told about the blue pond filled with lily pads and frogs where he swam as a little boy. He told about playing hide and seek with his brother in a field of yellow corn. And how his mother would call him home as the big orange sun dropped in the distance behind the green pastures where he grew up. He talked of summers filled with yellow butterflies and bright red kites flapping in the wind. He told of autumns with purple trees and golden fields against a clear blue sky. And as he spoke, Gelbo watched the old man's face. He was blind, but he looked happy. Gelbo decided. Samuel was remembering colors. "You can only see what you feel," said the old man softly. "What we see with the eyes begins with the heart. When you come tomorrow, I have a secret I will share with you. It will help you understand." "What is it?" Gelbo asked. "It isn't a secret of words," Samuel answered. "Words cannot paint a color." Then he closed his eyes and said goodbye. "Tomorrow you will follow the red path to find me," he added. "What do you mean?" asked Gelbo, puzzled. "You will see," said Samuel. And so Gelbo left again down the black and white path toward home, wondering what the old man's secret could be. The next day, Gelbo awoke with the greatest sense of expectation. He felt something flutter in his stomach, and he couldn't wait to see Samuel. And as he ran down the path, Gelbo looked ahead, but the old man wasn't sitting on the bench as usual. He was gone, and Gelbo's heart sank as he thought about never seeing Samuel again. Then Gelbo looked around the woods. Things were beginning to look different. Suddenly he noticed a path that was unlike the ones he had seen before. "It's the red path," he thought, and he ran down it as fast as he could. Breathless with anticipation, Gelbo saw a house ahead. It wasn't black and white, but looked completely unique, and sitting in front of it was the old man. Gelbo ran up to Samuel and exclaimed, "The red path led me here, just like you said. I could see it." The old man smiled. "Now you're ready for my secret," he said quietly. "Here, take my hand and lead the way." Gelbo did as he was asked. He took Samuel's hand and gently led the blind man step by step. Then Samuel instructed Gelbo to lead him through a gate. Suddenly they were standing in the middle of a beautiful garden. Gelbo had never seen anything like it in his life. The flowers were brilliant reds, sparkling yellows, bold purples, and electric oranges. It was so amazing that Gelbo couldn't speak. So these were colors. It was simply wondrous. The sun was shining on the old man's face, and it seemed a long time before he finally spoke. "This was my wife, Garden," he began. "She's gone now, but when she was on earth, she tended every flower with the utmost care, and the flowers repaid her with beauty and color. Before I was blind, I would watch her creating this special place. She loved her garden, and I loved her. So when I want to remember her, I come here. I can smell the fragrance of the flowers, and the colors of my wife's gardens fill my heart, as if she were here with me. You see, my son," he continued, "everything you love brings color to your life. These colors will live on in your heart forever, even when you can no longer see them with your eyes." Gelbo understood. He looked around the garden at the beautiful colors of the flowers. "Love brings color to the world," he repeated to himself. The old man had brought color to his world, and Gelbo would always remember him. He hugged Samuel and said goodbye. "Never forget," the old man said, "I will always be at the end of the red path." And so Gelbo started home. As he walked, he looked at the blue sky and the trees filled with the purple blossoms of spring. The sun was shining, and there were red birds and bluebirds. The world was a beautiful place, he thought. And there were colors everywhere. That's it for today's story. Thanks for watching.